Good Wednesday morning. It's 6 o'clock. Welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Victoria Hill. So very happy to see you with us today and happy to say good morning to our friend Miller. Hey.
Oh, good morning, everybody. You doing okay this morning, Victoria?
Yeah, so far so good. Feeling good. And yeah, hopefully the trend continues throughout the day.
Good, hopefully. Well, hopefully I'll give you some sunshine finally this afternoon.
I need it.
Yeah, you know, we've had a lot of cloud cover out there. We've had fog issues. You take a look. We do have some dense fog in spots here in downtown Billings. So visibility could be less than a quarter of a mile in spots. It's not going to be widespread around the city, but there still is that chance on your morning commute. So just slow down just in case. Be prepared to leave a few minutes early this morning so you can take your time getting to work and school. It's 16 right now at the airport. Winds out of the southwest at about 6 miles an hour. Let's go inside some numbers. Yesterday, our high only got up to about 22. We're going to beat that today, trying to get back into the 30s. We woke up in the teens. A gust yesterday of about 13 miles an hour, but of course, just breezy conditions moving forward. No really strong winds anticipated. No measurable snow yesterday, but I do want to say Red Lodge in Carbon County got about an inch, and Melville and Sweetgrass got about less than an inch and a half of snow yesterday. So if you were looking for the snow, those are the spots to be in. Right now, we're looking at temperatures in the teens and some single digits, even some negative temperatures out there as we roll along this morning. But there's that sunshine, trying to get some sunshine this afternoon and warming us up into the 30s by tomorrow. We're looking at temperatures in the 40s. Today, a very special day. It's Thomas Crapper.
And he invented the mechanism that has the toilet flush. And so here's look at one of the earlier images. And I don't know why, but when I go to someone's house and they have that toilet, you know, with the high tank.
Oh, the high tank, yeah.
I get pretty excited. And I'm like, oh, this is really cool. This is like old.
That is funny.
Yeah, I don't know. And so,
I was in a restaurant here in town and somebody's got something like that. It's kind of cool, though. It's kind of nostalgic. Yeah.
It's a piece of history.
You know who that guy is?
Snoop Dogg.
I've seen a rumor now. Now, not only is he a great musician, but he's also an inventor, and there's a rumor out there, you know, about the toilet. Yeah. And you ever remember that commercial back in the day where you could clap your hands and the lights went on and off? Well, he is working on one that will, he's working on one that will flush the toilet. If it comes out, it's going to be the Rapper Crapper Clapper.
Oh gosh, Miller.
Available on eBay.
I don't know if I should give you credit for that joke or shake my head.
Check it out on eBay one day. Maybe not, but possibly.
Okay.
Smart guy, Snoop Dogg.
All right. If he claims it, he gave away a $1 million idea there. All right. Well, anyways, I will get on to the news. Thank you. We begin with the news breaking overnight. A woman is shot in an apparent road rage incident near downtown Billings. The 38-year-old victim is recovering in the hospital with what police called non-life-threatening injuries. The shooting happened just before 11:30 last night on the 200 block of Avenue F. Right now, details are limited, but we do know authorities do not have any suspects at this time. A tweet from the Billings Police Department says they are investigating the incident. A suspect is behind bars after trying to abduct someone in Lockwood before leading police on a high-speed chase. Sheriff's deputies found this vehicle believed to be connected to the abduction attempt near Huntley yesterday. When authorities approached, the vehicle took off, even driving the wrong way down I-94. The suspect's vehicle was stopped with spike strips near the Pompey's Pillar exit. The person was taken into custody after a short chase on foot. Continuing our coverage, the shooting death of a 19-year-old on the Billings Rims is being investigated as a homicide. Kane Streitz died last Thursday after being shot in the head. His family says the shooting was accidental. Police questioned another 19-year-old man at the scene, but he was released. Authorities say they classify all cases where someone dies at the hands of another as homicides until investigations are complete. Last night, dozens of friends and family members of Streitz gathered on the Rims near the area where he was shot. They held a flashlight vigil remembering Kane as a kind person who loved to ride motorcycles and cruise around town. His mother said she's heard so many positive stories about her son in the days following the incident and asked people to keep sharing their memories. After the vigil, the group drove to Rimrock Mall, honoring Kane with one more cruise. About 150 soldiers with the Montana Army National Guard are back in the state after arriving from Washington, D.C. late last night. Governor Greg Gianforte was there to welcome them home. The soldiers joined about 26,000 National Guard members from all 50 states in the nation's capital, assisting with inauguration security. Some states are leaving their soldiers in D.C., but Governor Gianforte thought it was important to bring ours back.
It's so important. I mean, these men and women stepped up, they left their families, they went away and sacrificed to make sure we had a peaceful transfer of power. They did their job, and I'm thrilled to be here to welcome them home.
Before going home to their families, the soldiers have to stop at Fort Harrison to return their equipment. They will also be screened for COVID-19. Montana's U.S. senators are officially jurors in the upcoming impeachment trial of former President Donald Trump. It's not a surprise that Democrat Jon Tester and Republican Steve Daines feel very different about next month's proceedings. Tester says there has to be accountability in order to have unity in the country, but Daines believes the trial is all about revenge.
We take this very, very seriously, as we do with any impeachment. We'll listen to the information that's given to us and make a decision based off of that.
The Constitution is clear in Article 1, Section 3. It is for sitting presidents, not citizens, of which President Trump now is. And President Biden could end this right now. You should pick up the phone, call Chuck Schumer, call Nancy Pelosi, tell them to stop.
And meanwhile, the Montana House shocked many when it reversed its decision from yesterday and voted down a bill that would have made it illegal for transgender youth to have certain medical procedures to change their sex. After passing it on Monday, 4 GOP members changed their votes to no, including House Majority Leader Sue Vinton of Billings. Today, the House will take a final vote on another transgender rights bill that would bar trans students, athletes from playing on sports teams different than their biological sex. Some Montana lawmakers are looking to make it illegal for cities in the state to become sanctuary cities. That means refusing to provide information about someone's immigration status or refusing to comply with federal requests to detain someone for possible immigration violations. There are currently no cities in Montana with sanctuary policies, but supporters say they want to proactively discourage them. During the testimony, 2 opponents of the bill were asked to avoid talking about race or racism, saying immigration status and not race was at issue. Democrats then argued proponents of the bill had previously made inappropriate statements about undocumented immigrants.
To subject us in the committee to something that's off the bill, which is a violation of the rules, and second, to go down a road of supposition of what she thinks this bill was brought for, I'd still stick to my objection, sir. I don't think this is part of this committee.
We have heard testimony in this committee from others that have made suppositions about the opposition and made pretty broad statements that had no basis of fact and were not rooted in the legislation that was being brought. So if that is a criteria that you're going to apply, it needs to be applied on all sides consistently.
The legislature passed a very similar bill in 2019, but it was vetoed by Governor Steve Bullock. In national news, President Joe Biden announced the U.S. is buying 200 million more doses of COVID-19 vaccines to be delivered later this summer. The federal government is also planning to give more information to states about how many doses they can expect. CBS's Deborah Alfarone has details on what else the new president is doing to fight the virus.
President Biden is increasing the available supply of coronavirus vaccines by 16%.
Weekly vaccination distributions to states, tribes, and territories from 8.6 million doses to a minimum of 10 million doses.
The White House will also be giving states a 3-week forecast of how much vaccine to expect.
This is going to help make sure governors, mayors, and local leaders have greater certainty around supply so they can carry out their plans to vaccinate as many people as possible.
Many governors have complained that the lack of information has slowed vaccination efforts.
Our providers have been bedeviled with uncertainty and unpredictability of the delivery schedules.
Some vaccination sites, like Louisiana's Ochsner Health, canceled appointments because supplies ran short.
When we realized that the supply was going to continue to be an issue, we said, that's it. No more new ones.
Colorado health officials say the extra doses will make an immediate difference.
This is some great news. We anticipate that we will be able to vaccinate more of that 70-plus population.
New cases and hospitalizations here in the U.S. are trending downward, but variants are threatening that progress.
Just another reason to recognize that we need to get this vaccine rolled out as quickly as we can.
Vice President Kamala Harris received her second shot yesterday. President Biden hopes to have enough vaccines for 300 million Americans by the fall. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, Washington.
More doses could become available if Johnson & Johnson receives emergency use authorization from the FDA. That could happen sometime in the next few weeks. The AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine may seek the same approval in the spring. As the president pushes for more Americans to get the COVID-19 vaccine, the country is still split about rolling up their sleeves. 41% of American adults say they want the shots. That's an increase from December, when only 34% said they were interested in the vaccine. Of the 1,500 poll respondents, nearly a third said they wanted to see how others responded to the vaccine before getting one themselves. 6% of those questioned had already received their first shot. And before we take a break, more than 500,000 kids in the U.S. are visually impaired. Teaching kids who are blind how to read Braille can sometimes be a challenge. But as reporter Lindsay Boach shows us, a new tool from a well-known company is getting into the hands of teachers to help kids learn to read and keep it fun.
Normally, when you think of Legos, you think of bricks like this. They can come in kits with instructions to make spaceships or cars, or you can freestyle and make things on your own. Well, now the Lego Foundation has come up with a way to use these classic toys to help kids who are visually impaired learn how to read.
So a Braille cell has 6 dots, 3 on one side and 3 on the other. And the configuration of those dots is a different letter.
Legos come in a variety of shapes and sizes, like this, a 2x4.
What they did is removed the bottom 2 studs and put in print, and then the top 6 studs are basically what you would have in a Braille cell.
This particular brick with the 1 stud on the left and 2 on the right is a D or a 4. They both have the same dot pattern. Kate Herndon is with the company that's distributing the brick kits, and she shared this video with us. The kits have gone out to teachers all across the country and in 20 other countries as well.
I don't think I have used them with a student who didn't like them.
One of those teachers is Paige Maynard. She was one of the first to get one of the kits. It comes with 300 bricks, and there are letters, numbers, punctuation marks, and math symbols to allow kids to create words, sentences, and math equations, and there's a baseboard for the Legos to snap into.
It's that other thing that us as teachers of the visually impaired can use to help our students with progressing with their skills and literacy.
And kids as young as 4 are learning from these Braille bricks. One of Maynard's 9-year-old students loves Disney princesses, so she came up with a game where she was Ariel from The Little Mermaid and the bricks were seashells.
She was finding the ones that were the same, putting them in her seashell purse.
Maynard says not only is it fun for the kids, it's another tool in the toolbox that teachers of the visually impaired can use.
We think about a lot of students who are print readers, and they have all of their alphabet manipulatives that have been around for years, but children who are visually impaired and Braille readers haven't really had that in the past, and if they have, it's just not been as widely available.
Learning Braille is so very important, and this is one way, one method to reinforce the learning that's taking place in the classroom, and to bring play into it, to make it fun, to make it more motivating for kids.
The classic Lego bricks that have been around for almost 90 years, putting those interlocking bumps to another good use. I'm Lindsay Boach reporting.
Stick with us here on Montana This Morning.